Good morning. You're listening to Eurogame Day Breakfast with the former footballer turned top pundit and columnist Tony Cascarino and me, Natalie Sawyer, as we take you through until 9 o'clock this morning. Here are some of the headlines that you're waking up to. England are through to the T20 World Cup Super 8s. That's after Australia battled past an excellent Scotland side in St Lucia. Joss Butler's side's rain-interrupted win over Namibia meant Scotland needed a victory to progress, while Australia were already through to the next stage. And despite, was it Josh Hazelwood suggesting they might lose to Scotland just to make sure that England were knocked out, well, the Aussies did England a favour in the end, so they are through to the Super 8s. Elsewhere, Chris Billam-Smith denied Richard Riakporhe a dream homecoming as he beat his British rival by a unanimous points decision. The reigning champion delivered a controlled performance to successfully even defend his WBA Cruiserweight world title at Selhurst Park. And Scotland midfielder Callum McGregor has apologised to the Tartan Army following their 5-1 drubbing at the hands of Germany on Friday night. Steve Clarke's side were humbled in the Euro 2024 opener as the host dismantled the Scots with ease at the Allianz Arena. And McGregor says they fell well short of their usual standards against Germany.
I think the sorest thing is that when you go and open the tournament, everybody's got such high expectation. And we don't deliver as a group, so we have to take responsibility for that. We have to hold our hands up, and I think if you're realistic and you look at the game last night, then they're on a different level to what we are, and it probably was never going to define where we finished in the group. But you know, you have a sour taste in your mouth this morning because we don't do ourselves justice, and that's what you want to do when you come to tournaments like this. You want to do yourself justice, and I don't think we did that.
Yeah, there'll no doubt be and has been a massive debrief of what went wrong for Scotland. Wednesday is their next game. They take on Switzerland, I should say, in Cologne on Wednesday before they finish with Hungary and Stuttgart. And Switzerland obviously got off to a winning start as they beat Hungary 3-1 in what was a very dominant first half performance by Switzerland. From what you have seen of Scotland, though, can they turn this around? Can they get through this group stage, which would make history for them because they've never done that before at Euros?
You don't get a lot of time in tournaments from the group games, so you've got to make big calls early on. And I think Steve's at that stage. Now, you can say, well, you don't need to do anything. You know, we lost 5-1 and it was against the host nation in the first game, and they played really well. But I don't think you have time to think, well, we can go again with how we set up. I think they offered nothing offensively. Now, if they're going to get through, Scotland have to be Scotland the Brave and have far more going forward. And I think that's Steve's challenge. It isn't about, can we stop teams? And he mentioned 4 points. Yeah, you're going to have to beat one of your two remaining games. Hungary weren't very good, okay? But you played the Swiss beforehand, who looked dangerous. Yeah, they did look dangerous against Hungary. And I would say that to have any impact on this first group games is to be way more bolder in forward areas and give support and make big calls, because you're going to have to. Because I don't see them turning it around if they just rely on that was a bad night and we'll go again and maybe I don't think that's an option for them. Because they didn't look like scoring that. If you don't look like scoring, you don't look like scoring against anybody.
Well, they didn't have a shot on target.
Exactly. So they can't go there again. Very
rarely ventured into Germany's box as well. I think it was 2 touches in the box for against Germany. So, yeah, they need a big performance against Switzerland on Wednesday night, and you'll be able to hear that with us here on talkSPORT. But just quickly on the German side of things, have they been underrated coming into this tournament? Because obviously they didn't have to come through qualifying, so all of their games have been friendlies that they've played. So in a way, sometimes you can't read too much into friendlies because you never know the sort of standard that you're going to get. But have we sort of underrated them?
No one's underrated. Look, you know that Germany are going to have good players. They've got a lot of good players playing for the biggest
World Cup, so you kind of think. I know it's a different manager, but
different manager. I think they're a little bit more. They've got an element of what Spain have done. That young lads coming into the squad, like Wirtz coming in there. Musiala was at the last World Cup, but you can see he's a hell of a talent. He was that in the last World Cup. He was superb in games there. But they have a little bit of I would say, a slightly different identity, because they still got Gunderland in there. They've still got Josh Kimmich in there. There's Neuer, the keeper. Tony Rudiger. They've got an element of real experience, but a few brighter talents within their group. I think it'd be interesting is if a team doesn't allow them to play through the midfield like they did.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're going to do that, that to me was just
so easy for them.
A tactic that don't let Crows get on the ball and start dominating a play from like the badminton or, you know, the squash room where you're literally everything from the centre. If they start doing that, then you're going to ask for trouble. I think teams will stop them doing that.
Yeah,
so it'd be interesting to see how they react to being stopped.
Indeed. Well, for more on all those stories, you can head over to our website at talksport.com. Let's bring you the golf. And Bryson DeChambeau has taken a 3-shot lead over Rory McIlroy, Patrick Cantlay and Matthew Pavon in the final round of the US Open after a captivating third day at Pinehurst. Another challenging day. The 2020 champion was paired in the final group with the overnight leader Ludvig Åberg, but left the Swede behind with a thrilling 3-under par 67 to improve to 7-under. McIlroy heads the chasers as he hunts for a first major title in what is a decade. Joining us now for more on this is talkSPORT's golf correspondent Sean O'Brien. Sean, how are you doing?
Hi, Sean.
I'm okay, guys. How are you?
Very
we're
well.
very good.
Before we talk golf, are you in Germany right now?
I am indeed. Now, I'm living exclusively on pretzels and currywurst at the moment.
Oh, I think that sounds delightful. I love a pretzel.
It sounds really good for the first 2 days.
Yes,
it starts to get a bit heavy after a while, I have to say. But it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
On the golf, I was interested because look, DeChambeau yesterday. I mean, he is playing a very high level standard, and then I saw who was chasing him. I think Pavon, Cantlay, who we know how difficult, but Rory's with Cantlay, and there's not a lot of love lost between them two, is there?
Oh, Cass, honestly, that is the pairing everyone has wanted since Rome last September. Do you know what? It's not only what happened on the 18th green at the Ryder Cup last year when, of course, Rory got furious with Cantlay's caddy, Joe LaCava, for his kind of the way he celebrated, kind of accusing him of really disrespecting him and putting him off his routine when he still had a really crucial putt to try and tie the match. But also in the press since then, Rory's called Patrick Cantlay a few names. There was an interview in the Irish Independent when Rory kind of described what happened afterwards, and he called him a name that I can't repeat on air. So there really is no love lost between those two. They're also both on the Players Advisory Council trying to sort out the PGA Tour kind of live stuff, and there was some suggestions that maybe one of the reasons why Rory left that board was because he didn't get along that well with Cantlay. So this is the first time they've gone out together since everything that happened last year, and I think all of my eyes are going to be, everyone's eyes are going to be on the handshake on the first tee, and whether there is any frostiness during that round. But it's going to be so good because this is such a brilliant golf course, and we've got such a great leaderboard. Because besides being maybe enemies, Rory and Cantlay are two of the best players in the game, and they're chasing down someone like Bryson as well. So it should be absolutely captivating.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?